Right, for more on Transnet run ports and the failing rail networks, we're now joined by Mina Lesoma, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Transport. Chairperson, good to have you and thank you very much for your time. It has been estimated that collective cost of port and rail failures over the last 18 months is in the region of 150 billion rands. That's the collapse of Transnet alone, setting the cost of the country 1 billion a day in economic output, equivalent of 4.9% of our country's annual GDP of 353 billion rands. That is a lot if you take those numbers into account for this thing to be allowed to continue for so long without any kind of intervention to resolve it. Where is the challenge?
Good evening, Thabo, and the viewers of News Africa. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Probably let's start here that as the Portfolio Committee of Transport, we don't necessarily oversight over transport. That falls under the Department of Public Enterprises that report to the relevant committee. However, I agree with the sentiments that has been aired that sort of the lower level or appetite of updating and the maintenance of the infrastructure, but also we must hastily say that the congestion at all ports generally are not merely due to the single factor, it's a multi-pronged factor, as it were. Ports Authority of South Africa, we must say that probably just to preempt you to say, you might say that there might be a need for government of South Africa to reconsider or consider partnership or privatizing the ports, as it were. We must say that, which we say it with confidence, that South Africa I think it's in the last 3 years, we have entered to an agreement to have strike a 25-year partnership with the International Container Terminal Service, which initially was meant to expand the port of Durban from Terminal 2 to Pier 2.5.8, I mean to say, to make sure that also we are on speed in terms of the technology that is used internationally in some of the best ports that are run. So we are engaging on that, but also the other reasons that had caused or impacted negatively in terms of the turnaround time or of the workings of port is that we are just recently coming from the COVID, which throughout all over the world, South Africa was not spared from that. But secondly is the issue of that we experienced in Durban, KZN in particular, the floods that we had. As the Parliament also, through the President's pronouncement, one of the provinces that was mostly hit and the disaster was declared on that, which then it's a work in progress. But we are saying that it doesn't mean that there are inefficiencies, but is to say how do we then upgrade and be on speed in terms of the turnaround and also maintenance and building of a new infrastructure where is needed.
So there's a National Logistic Crisis Committee. One of the people that sit in that committee includes key ministers, Godongwane Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, Sindisiwe Chikunga, which is a minister that reports to you. So to an extent, your portfolio is looking at the challenges that our ports are facing, because a large number of the challenges would include, firstly, the number of locomotives that are available and the rail movement. So it's something that falls directly at your portfolio, and why a failure to hold the political principle accountable?
I don't think it's fair to be conclusive to say we are failing to hold the executive accountable. Secondly, you must also take to account in terms of ports, I said that it also includes the public enterprises, but it's a multi-pronged in terms of DERCO, in terms of in-home affairs and other related departments like yourselves and all that, and defense. But coming back to your point that we are failing to hold the executive accountable, that's not true. One, there are various platforms and vehicles that we use in Parliament. One is written and oral questions. Two is the physical engagement with the relevant executive authority, which would be the Minister of Transport in this regard, because I don't want also to encroach on other committees in terms of public enterprises, where Transnet directly then accounts to. However, I'm saying that we do have the platforms, and also as currently as this year, you might know that informed and advised by the State of Capture report did raise the issue that you are raising, that it seems like Parliament is relaxed or striking its feet to hold the executive accountable, and we're doing our level best. Hence, even some of the departments that have not improved in the year that was, based on the audit reports, also even SCOPA comes in. But as the committee was the first call, because one, we approved their business plans, two, we approved the budget. So we are on an interval basis, even on a quarterly basis. In terms of the railways line, we are happy that during our engagement with the Minister of Transport, which is Ms. Cindy Chikunga, he did also give us a sense of comfort that there are about 8 corridors that are on a pipeline. 2 of them have been unblocked, which is the Western Cape and Durban. 3 weeks back, she was in Durban also reopening the railway line corridor, as it were, is the way we call them. Yeah. So we are doing that, but also we requested her, because that's a polite way to say, I don't want to use the insulting her, but we make a resolution that says that on a quarterly basis, but on an interval basis, without waiting for them appearing before us on a quarterly basis. But as a portfolio committee, we've got a dashboard. One of the top priority issues that are on our dashboard is the reinstating of the railway system, as it were. So we are getting progress. Of course, we would like to have a more turnaround time in terms of the speed, but they are doing something in that regard. And yes, indeed, we are holding them, and we hold no punches where we think is due to do that. So we are doing that. Probably in the public space, you might not see any difference, but I bet you, if you watch the space, even our budget review recommendation that for 2023, we have stressed that probably as the portfolio committee, where there's a sort of a stubbornness in terms of the progress that we would like on behalf of South Africans to see, we must probably look at our powers in terms of our mandate as a portfolio committee. How far can we stretch? Can we also, without impeding the operations of the departments, probably to pass and review the budget with strict conditions that they would not until they do something. Some of the committees have started to do that. So I'm saying to you, all in very confidently, we are holding no punches in terms of making sure that we're also being seen responding to what the ad that was done by the State of Capture report as well. But we are not doing that, but it's part of our mandate.
How, for example, are we responding to the congestions at some key road corridors, such as the N2, the N3, and the N4? I mean, what reports have you received as the committee on those corridors? We can even add to that certain land borders that are supposed to be getting some attention, the Libombo border being one of them.
You might be aware that recently this year, not our portfolio committee, but public enterprises as well as SCOPA, they did visit an oversight study in terms of the borders. But I did say that in terms of the Transnet and also in terms of transport infrastructure, as it were, some of the issues are multi-pronged, and I did indicate that it also involved like DERCO, Home Affairs, SAPS and SARS and Defense, and Public Works, by the way, as well as public enterprises and transport. Probably what I can say is that moving forward, as the President did state in 2019, SONA, that we are going to make sure that those departments falls under transport, they go to transport, and those ones falls under other departments, they do that, so that there's a streamlined oversight body and also a clear cohesion or in terms of the implementation, so that there's only one port of call in terms of accountability. So there is a program in terms of the national roads also. If you go to KwaZulu-Natal, Johannesburg, even 2 weeks back I was at Mpumalanga, there's a lot of road construction even to expand the road, as it were. But we are saying, as the portfolio committee of transport, that it's not enough to deal with the freeways or the national roads, as it were, but also with that, complementing that with resuscitation of the railway system, so that you offtake or you offload the weight of and the traffic of the trucks that travel in our roads, because also they are not meant to carry heavy stuff. So in the absence of the rail not efficient enough, then you are putting more stress or pressure to the road system, as it were, which means even the turnaround and lifespan of the road might be shortened. So there is that a parallel process to ensure that all road infrastructure or transportation infrastructure, they do complement each other as it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
We agree that probably South Africa have been slack in terms of paying attention in terms of the maintenance. But as this portfolio committee, as I speak to you, we are saying that don't only just give us what are you doing, which is new, because it is important also to service the existing infrastructure, so that you don't have an ever-shifting goalpost, as it were.
All right, Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Transport there, Mina Lesoma. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for your time.